She drained my doctor's salary for years, and the moment I finally said I wanted a divorce, she made it about what I had stopped buying her. Follow or subscribe for more stories. By the time I walked out, I had already signed a lease across town, lined up an attorney, and accepted that the question was not whether my marriage could be fixed. The question was why I had stayed so long after I knew it was wrong. I am 45, and my wife is 44. We were together for 6 years before we got married, and even then, something in my gut kept telling me not to do it. Everyone around us pushed for the wedding. My parents wanted it. Her parents wanted it. She wanted it. I told myself I was just nervous because people get cold feet before big decisions. So I ignored the feeling and married her. Almost as soon as the license was signed, the marriage changed. On our honeymoon, she complained that the hotel was not nice enough. After that, it was always something new. A better apartment, a nicer car, more gifts, jewelry, handbags, things that looked impressive but never made our life feel any warmer. I am a physician, so from the outside, I probably looked like someone who should have been comfortable. But I was not comfortable. I was barely keeping up with the lifestyle she wanted. After years of working a demanding, high-paying job, I had only about 3 months of savings. I wanted to retire someday. I wanted to have choices. Instead, I felt like my whole income disappeared into a life I did not even enjoy. The home we shared looked perfect, like a showroom. It had expensive furniture, polished counters, and no real joy in it. We did not laugh anymore. We did not really talk, unless the conversation was about money or what I was failing to provide. Before we got married, she said she wanted kids. Afterward, she changed her mind. We did not have children. We also did not have closeness, comfort, or much of a relationship left. At some point, I realized I did not just feel unhappy. I felt trapped. So I started making quiet plans. I rented a small apartment in a less desirable neighborhood across town. There was a stack of flat-pack furniture waiting there for me. The luxury car lease she had pushed me into was ending soon, and I decided I would replace it with a used Prius. I booked therapy for myself. I hired a divorce attorney, and because we had signed a prenup, he told me I should not have to pay alimony. I also started thinking about leaving my current job within the next year. It paid well, but the hours were brutal, and I had only taken it because she insisted. I wanted work that made me proud and happy, not just rich enough to keep buying things. The night before I told her, I expected to be terrified. Instead, I felt excited. Not cruelly excited. Free excited. Like I was finally about to stop living someone else's version of my life. The next morning, I did not go for my usual run or bike ride. I stayed in the kitchen and paced while she was upstairs getting ready. I rehearsed the words over and over, but when she finally came down, I felt strangely calm. She started making coffee and barely looked at me. I told her I needed to talk. She gave me a distracted response without turning away from the machine. So I said it plainly. I told her I was leaving and I wanted a divorce. I told her we had not been happy in a long time, and I felt like she did not care about me or my emotional needs. The reaction came almost instantly. She cried that I never bought her flowers anymore. She said I did not do enough to support her. She said I did not care whether she was happy. And that was the moment I knew there was nothing left for me to explain. I reminded her that I had suggested therapy more than a year earlier. She had agreed at first, then made excuse after excuse until nothing happened. I reminded her about the budgets we had made together and how she ignored them. I told her what it did to me when I tried to explain my feelings, and she dismissed me. Then she switched to begging. She said we could fix it. She said she would go to therapy now. She promised she would be better. I had thought that part might hurt. I thought seeing her cry might tear something open in me. But it did not. I felt nothing. Whatever love or anger had been there was gone. It was like listening to someone else's marriage fall apart. Eventually, I was done. I walked out. After that, my phone started lighting up. Her messages moved between anger, begging, and threats. Then the calls started coming from her mother and from mine. I spoke briefly with my mom and explained that I was sorry she heard from my wife first, but the marriage had been draining me financially and emotionally, and I could not keep doing it. To my surprise, my mother was supportive. That night, I was in my new apartment. There was no showroom furniture, no expensive car in the driveway, no performance of success, just a mattress in a box on the floor, new sheets from Walmart, Thai takeout on the kitchen counter, and Netflix on my computer. And somehow, I had everything I needed. My wife was going to be served the next day. I kept waiting for sadness to hit me, but it never did. What I felt was lighter, like 1,000 pounds had finally come off my shoulders. My future suddenly had room in it. I wanted to travel. I wanted to try new restaurants. I wanted to take a job that actually made me happy and proud. I wanted to walk through my neighborhood and know that my life belonged to me again. There was one detail people online got very stuck on. I said I planned to ask out the barista I saw every morning because she had been flirting with me. People warned me not to mistake customer service for interest, and honestly, I understood why. If they had not known the background, I might have said the same thing. But the barista was 30, and the shop was her family's business. I had met her about a year earlier. Because I have to scrub in for work, I do not usually wear my wedding ring. A few months after we met, she invited me to a food truck festival. I told her I was married, and she was embarrassed. After that, we had a running joke where she would ask, "So, still married?" My plan was not to corner her or make it weird. My plan was to answer, not for long, and see what happened. That first night alone, I had a beer and took a walk around my new neighborhood. I was not pretending everything would be simple. Divorce would still be ugly. There would still be paperwork, calls, and consequences. But for the first time in years, I was not scared of my own future. I was looking forward to it. Do you think leaving calmly after years of resentment is healthier than trying one last round of therapy, or was I already too checked out for that to matter? Follow for more stories.